Yo, 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 it's your boy Sneaky from R&R, recognition and respect. Tune in every Monday from 8 to 9 to catch up with me and my adventures and hear from my guests ranging from artists to entrepreneurs and much, much more. Catch us every Monday of the week on the west side of the after party. See you at the party, y'all.
Oh, am I live right now? Oh, my bad. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in to Recognition and Respect with your boy Sneaky on the west side of the after party. We're here every Monday night bringing you entertainment, art, culture, movements happening in LA with the people that are doing it, the bands, the artists, the activists, everybody that's in the mix, just to show you like my world, my universe, everything that I'm doing. Today, got some guests with me, but before we get to them, got to mention my sponsors. This show wouldn't be possible unless people help me keep the lights on and pay for my beautiful engineer, Brittany. So, got to shout out all my people. First off, Midnight Motives, day one sponsor. Their new album, Visions, available on iTunes and Spotify. Check it out. They have some shows coming up, so if you check out their Instagram, midnight_motives, check out all their shows, check out their music videos. You remember, just stream the album, share it. Everything helps, even if we're getting tenths of cents on a dime or whatever. It all adds up. So go out there, listen, share, stream, all that good shit. Shout out Night Flare Company. We have wrapped up our shows for this year. We are already starting our planning for next year's show calendar. We got a lot of cool stuff with a lot of our promoters, Demise, oh my God, Alternative Shows LA. Who else? We got Contagious Music with Derange. We're bringing you all types of different events. We also do audio recording, live recording, video recording, flyers, promotion, street team booking. Check out Night Flare Company. Find out everything that they're up to. And if you want to get involved, hit us up, man. We're always down to work. And finally, last but not least, Shots Fired. I've been talking to you about their event. They just had an amazing event. Their San Diego's premier rap battle league. Their event was a success. It had about 100 in attendance and another 55 viewers on pay-per-view and video on demand. They had people watching from California, Michigan, Illinois, Florida, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Canada, and France. If y'all want to join in and see the epic-ass battle, it's the largest thing that's ever happened in San Diego. It had a epic battle rap 2-on-2 with dudes that have rapped with Eminem and the first Crip and Blood rap battle duo, crossing all lines, going hard. Check it out on bit.ly/chroniclevod. And I'll be putting all this stuff up on my website starting tomorrow. So I'll have some rap battles up there so you can see more about the culture. I'll have the links so you can check out, make it a lot easier. Those are our sponsors. Super appreciate all the homies fucking putting money in my pocket, helping me keep this shit alive so I can bring to you guests like the ones I have in the studio right now, the Deco Hectics. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's right, man.
All right. So how about y'all introduce yourself? We'll go this way to that way. Just say your name, what you play, and then we'll start from there. Yeah.
Eric, guitar player, lead vocalist.
My name is Mondo. I play drums.
Jake, bass, and vocals also.
Legit. So you're just a three-piece. There's no non-member not here?
Nope.
Okay.
Nah, man,
It's just
we're
us
all
right
here.
here.
A trio.
Trio,
Exactly.
Damn, I like that.
The power trio.
Oh, so where are y'all from, or what city do you represent? Or are y'all from all over? Give me that kind of story.
So, I mean,
Go ahead, man.
growing up all over the 562 area code, we spent a little bit of time in Los Angeles. But as far as the band, I went to school with this young man right here in Whittier, from Whittier, California.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say we're based out of Whittier pretty much. I've lived in Whittier my whole life. That's where we first started practicing as a band.
Well, you usually practice where the drummers at, because the drums are like the biggest thing, and the hard, like the
Sure.
noise. You gotta.
It's like wherever it's set
It's
up.
like, bro, I'm already here. Y'all need to come to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we started. We started in Whittier.
So y'all met in school,
Yeah, in high
and when
school.
did this beautiful young man come to the picture?
He's actually
We're brothers.
he's actually my brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're brothers.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we're
were.
brothers.
Y'all get that a lot, that you don't look
Biology.
like brothers?
No,
It's kind
actually.
of funny that you say that. Yeah,
Really?
we get the opposite sometimes.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe if I met you a little faded, I'd be like, oh yeah, y'all are brothers for sure.
Yeah.
Put two and two together.
So how many years has the band been doing the damn thing?
Quite a few actually. I mean, it kind of started off originally us learning how to play music. We always had the idea of being in a band, but not necessarily knowing how to function in a
Got
band.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody growing up, you want to play an instrument, you think, oh my goodness, I want to write music, I want to write my own songs. I mean, you hear your favorite bands, your artists, and you want to emulate them, but it takes time, it takes work.
Definitely. So this is your first band, or did y'all have projects before and they didn't work, and then you came together, or is this like this was the OG? This is all or nothing. This is it. This is the squad.
I mean, yes and no, because when I first started playing music, it was side by side with this guy right here. We had our own little project going, kind of just like I said before, just learning how to play music, actually learning our instruments, and it kind of just evolved from there.
Yeah. I mean, we've all have done like our own side things a little bit. I know Eric's been in a couple other bands. I've jammed with other people. As far as Jake though,
Yeah, pretty much just been in this band.
Yeah, it's because
Except
it's
like
the brother
the
movement,
brother,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Except like in middle school, you know, that band. But
Right.
That doesn't really count. But
You gotta back up your brother,
No,
man.
I started playing with him. You know, like he said, we would just learn how to play. You know, we had just gotten instruments. He had just started playing guitar. You know what I mean? Mono hasn't even played drums yet, and you know, this is like, shoot, I was in the 9th grade, so this is a long time ago.
yeah.
It started off pretty intense when we first realized it was what we wanted to do. We just went for it, man. We were practicing every day. I was with him every day of my life.
So you have no formal musical training, and until this band, y'all didn't really start having no history of playing.
No,
music,
not
really?
necessarily. I mean, our family members have been musicians. We've always been really close to music. People around us, but as far as like teachers or any classes, no, nothing like
I
that.
think I took like a semester of guitar. That was like the only music class I ever took. But.
And you don't play any other instruments?
Oh
Or do
yeah.
y'all just
Well,
stick
I
to-
played drums in the band, but my first instrument was guitar. I first started playing guitar. I still play guitar to this day.
I think as a three-piece, if we needed to
You
switch,
do a little swap-a-roo,
I mean,
yeah.
we don't,
Really
but
good.
if we needed to, we could.
Jake can play drums. He knows how to play drums too.
So do y'all ever meet up and like have a jam session and write some stuff where like you're on the drums and you're on the guitar and bring that to the band, or or like does the how to like?
I think for this band, it's always kind of been it's always just been we keep it like I'm on. You know what I mean? We keep it to what we do in this band. That's how we usually write songs. You know.
Yeah, as far as like our own individual songs, like yeah, we'll make tunes and we'll play them with each other, and you know, we'll teach them to each other. But for the most part, the songs we play, you know, under Deco Hectics are songs that we just kind of come up with
together as a
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of bands do that. Even probably people's favorite bands. People don't really dive deep into it, but realize that the musicians, bass player, guitar player, drummer, they write a lot of songs. You know, they just look at the front man or whoever's singing, like, oh, the
And they
song's
just
something.
assume,
They
yeah.
assume that. Like, no, the people that back them up are usually really talented. And
Yeah.
I think these two guys are here are extremely talented, and
Right.
that's why we do so well together. Just being a three-piece, like.
That's cool.
just works pretty well.
And just to comment on the 3-piece, you never like, does it ever come up where it feels empty, or you're like, oh, it'd be cool to have a solo right here, or like, does that conversation ever come up?
That's a good question. Yeah, it has before. Actually, I mean, if you had a band with 6, 7 members, of course it's gonna sound dope. You know what I mean? When you have somebody backing you up, I mean, you don't really have to be playing anything technical. You could just have like 10 dudes playing the same thing. and
Right,
it
everybody
sounds-
does a little
sounds
piece.
big.
and
It
it's
sounds
like,
big,
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? But it feels like less is more with us. When you have less members, you feel like
We have to
like,
make up.
you have to make up for it.
Right,
I
like
think
you're
that
pushing
if-
your boundaries
Yeah,
almost.
And
exactly.
I think that influenced like our style of playing too. Like the way we play our instruments is because we have to play them that way in order to like make up for
Right.
what we don't
For
have.
members
And I'm
that
gonna
have
be
that.
honest, I haven't heard your stuff. I was hoping to
Okay.
get that track before.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if you,
yeah.
what would you classify yourself like? What like I know people. I hate genres. Bands are like, oh, we're our own sound. But like
Yeah.
if you had to, you know, like you have anybody who you think you're inspired by or sound like,
that's
or
a tough question.
or the genre. Yeah, no, it's
We're gonna throw
loaded.
ourselves under the bus right now.
All right, maybe let's just say, like, if someone asks, "Oh, what kind of band are you in?" Like, what would you tell them? Is it a metal band, indie band? Like,
I would
what?
say alternative.
Alternative, yeah.
rock band. Yeah.
alt rock, like '90s shit, like that.
I would say we have a lot of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
around that. You know, we
That's
grew
my
up around
favorite.
that.
later
Yeah.
later 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
You know what
Definitely
I mean?
early 2000s
And
with the
recently like alternative, but a little bit of Latin kind of mixed in.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of ask us. I'm like, well, if we want it to sound like that, why don't you just go like all the way into being like a cumbia band or a Latin band? We're like, we can't
do that.
We want to
you know?
keep our roots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
We could do that, but you know,
like it'd be fun, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but it
people
wouldn't
that
be
music.
like
Yeah,
it wouldn't be
us.
your.
It's just kind of it's maybe
we like to put our own little mix on it. You
maybe
know?
our background coming out and it being
Yeah.
being Hispanic. You know what I mean?
Or also just flavor, right? Like
Yeah, a
just to
little
have a
bit.
break, a cumbia break, and then all right, now we're back
Yeah.
into the whatever, right? Just to mix
Exactly.
it up. So, what do you think is your inspiration, or not? And to be less cheesy, like, like why do you make music? Like for me personally, it's like helps me deal with depression. I try to like go into other things of music, other like works, like other professions, and I couldn't get away from it. It's
Yeah.
just an itch that I always had to scratch, and so.
What do you guys?
Yeah, why do you think you guys do this? Because it's not an easy thing to do, like you said. It's not.
I mean,
easy
I
for me
know
to-
why I
I
do
just
it.
I mean, I just always just love to create, man. Love to make music. I just fell in love with it. You know what I mean? I first fell in love with bands. I got into music really hard. You know, went really deep into it, and then that led to wanting to learn how to play an instrument. You know, and I just had that drive and that passion, and I just picked it up and learned, man. You know,
Yeah.
nobody told me to do it. It just came from me, man. It
Yeah.
was just something from the inside, you know, and it's a big part of my life, and you know, that's just the reason why I do it. It's just a part of me, man.
What about you, brother?
Oh man, I guess there's just not really been a time where I haven't had music in my mind or haven't not been thinking about music. You know, so that's kind of like why I just always thinking about it and like everything I do. But I started because of these guys. You know, I would say they needed an extra member, and so I filled the spot, and so.
So before then, though, until they asked you, you were already playing the instrument, or you were just kind of you had this music in your head?
He was more of like the kid who's on the couch like watching us play, and he's just
Absorbing.
he's into it the whole time. He was like our number one fan. Like
Yeah.
he was just mesmerized just listening to it. But I guess he caught the bug, man. He needed to get into it.
Yeah, we had a bass player at the time, and you know, some things happened. He couldn't be in the band anymore, and Jake was right there. He knew all of our songs pretty much.
Right.
You know? So
It
he
was
just
super
like, I'll
easy,
learn,
let's
I'll
do
learn
it.
how
He's like,
to
I'm
play
ready,
bass.
dude.
Yeah. He's like, I've been waiting.
Yeah, I remember, you know, in the early practices, they were still a three-piece, but they weren't really doing vocals a lot. So I would sit there and I would just make vocal parts in my head, and then eventually I'll get up and sing them, and then it kind of just happened like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like I have my brother's was in my first band, so
Yeah.
it's really tight to make music with like your family.
It's cool.
But then the band kind of becomes your family, and families always have issues. Do y'all ever feel like
definitely.
y'all ever hate? Y'all ever want to kill each other? Like,
Yeah, just on the way over here. On the way over here. Most definitely.
you ever leave
Hey.
practice though and be like, man, fuck these guys? Like, what makes you go back the next day and like keep fucking rocking?
You know, because it's always over like petty little bullshit.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
like
I mean?
that.
And it's always like your ego or something, you know. And when you get home, you're just like, you know, it's not that big of a deal.
But I think you said it right the first time. I mean, it's just family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's just what it is.
Just get over shit, man. Just squash it.
So
Yeah.
we never got back to why you do it. You were like very mysterious, like I know why I do this shit. Right? So now I want to hear it. What's up? Better be deep, bro. Be deep.
There better be deep.
He's been waiting.
I waited for this.
Waited
There's like a grade right here.
Yeah.
It just feels like growing up from a teenager. You know what I mean? People kind of go off and get into different things. You know what I mean? A lot of times, like my friends were going out to parties. I was never really into that. You know what I mean? People get into like girls or I mean whatever have you, like drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just growing
House
up as a
music,
kid, house
whatever,
parties. I
what-
mean, you
yeah,
go,
yeah.
y'all just want to have a good time right now. I just want to be excited. You know what I mean? They just wanted to feel something.
Yeah.
There was so much angst and so much anxiety maybe built up, like growing up, just like you need to let it out. For me, there was no better feeling than creativity. Like, I was never a really good artist that can't paint, you know what I mean? But as soon as I started playing, I wasn't really like looking to learn other people's songs. Like, as far as bands, I just kind of I just kept doing it, and when you piece together your songs, your music, it's kind of like you hear something that clicks in you, and you're like, it just sets something off. I think creativity is probably the greatest high you can probably ever feel in life. You know what I mean? Because it's limitless. It's like, okay, I hear where it can go from here. Like, or I can do this and get to here. It's like you're on a roller coaster. You know what I mean? And it ends when you make it end. But I mean, it's just a really good feeling. You know what I mean? It just gives you, it makes you feel alive. You know what I mean?
Is there some kind of irony in the fact that you weren't the kid who liked to go to parties, but now you play in music and you want people who go to party and want to go out to come listen to you?
Yeah, it is.
So who do you think you play for? Are you playing for those party kids that you never understood?
That's a good question.
Are you trying to play for the creative kids that might be at the show, but they're in the corner trying to leave? Like,
it sounds selfish. But at the end of the day, I think every musician kind of plays for themselves. You know what I mean? Because they feel what they feel. They know what they know, and whatever comes out, it's like, you have to feel it. You can't fake it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can make cookie cutter music and play for certain styles and like try to make it that. But if it's not true, it's not true, and people are gonna see right through you. So hopefully, like, the stuff that I like and stuff that I'm into, maybe people like me are gonna get into it, and that's kind of the people that you play for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about you? Who do you think you play for?
I play for myself, man. To be honest, for these guys, I play for the song.
And I like that.
Whoa.
I'm gonna write that down. You might hear that in a rap song.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be mine. Sorry.
Hey, man, you can take it. You can have it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I like that though. No, but I guess the reason I asked that is because there's always like this. I've had a couple bands in here, right? And the answers are always different. Like, or sometimes I hear, we play for everybody. Like, we want everybody to enjoy our music. And other times it's like, I'm playing for that outcast, that person who felt like they never. So I think this is the first time I hear like a real honest, like, I do it for me, dog, because that's what I need. I need this shit, right?
Yeah. I want to feel that, you know.
I mean, you would hope other people kind of like felt how you felt, and
yeah, of course,
they naturally started digging it. You know
yeah.
But I mean, you can't try to please everybody because it's impossible, man.
Right, and I guess like one of the reasons why we do this radio show, and a lot of the people that I try to bring out is people who are like chasing their dreams, chasing their passion, trying to make it off of it. And there's always, when it comes to music, it's like you got to have a demographic, right? That's like when you create your marketing strategy, and you're looking for who are you marketing to, who are you trying to get at, right? So I always try to ask, like, from that kind of like, I wonder if people are thinking like that, and if you know, like, oh, we're aiming for 16 to 25 girls who have disposable income, you know, because that's how
you're thinking about it like an exec, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what they're gonna ask you, like, who are we going after? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, because I mean, these days you gotta be an exec like on your own, because there's no more execs that are trying to like give you the A&R record deal.
No, they're not looking out for
you.
You
gotta know already what you're bringing to the table to get that leverage.
You gotta have a game plan.
So let's talk about your game plan. Like, where do you see your band in 5 years, 10 years? Like, is there a show, like a Coachella that you want to play? I know, like, it used to be Vans Warped Tour, but, like, that's not around anymore, so a lot of people's dreams are crushed. Like, do you see yourself fucking rocking the local circuit, still doing how, like,
man,
what do you want? Like, where do you see yourself?
Me and him years ago, when we probably weren't even, like, ready to play house shows, we were with each other every day thinking about, like, oh, we're gonna play Coachella one day. We're gonna do this. We're gonna be on this stage. Like, here's what songs we're gonna play first, and like, here's what we're gonna close with. And you know, I mean, you kind of don't really know the game until you start dipping your toes in the water. But it's, you know what I mean. It's tough out there, man. And I think now it's just to be able to play.
Just to be able to make music, man. Just to keep on making music and doing what we love and having fun. I mean, I think if we stop having fun, that maybe we should stop. You know?
That's key, right?
That's like the main thing, pretty much. So, you know, whatever happens. But I think our main goal right now is to put out that full length album. You know what I mean?
Because it hasn't happened yet, right?
No,
I see you brought me a demo right here,
had
EP
demos
right
and
here.
EPs,
Yeah.
But it feels like it's kind of it's a dying art. You know what I mean? Like, bands or even artists, rap artists, they don't put together LPs anymore.
No, yeah, it's
just singles or something like that.
It's difficult. Even like, Glassjaw's last thing was a 5-song, like, and it's just, yeah, it's not only is it a dying art, but also the audience is like not.
They don't got the attention.
They don't have the attention span for
that's
it.
Exactly
Yeah.
it.
100%.
I mean, it still happens though, right? Like Kendrick Lamar, Kamasi Washington, Coheed and Cambria just put out a new album, supposed to be a concept album. I haven't heard yet.
What you guys just mentioned right now, it feels like, and I'm not trying to bash anybody or hate, but in this day and age in the music industry or in music in general, you talk about genres, like we have so many options, you know what I mean? There's so many avenues you can go down, so many artists you can just pick out of nothing and just go off and
a rabbit hole.
And find something completely cool, sometimes bad, you know what I mean? Who knows? But
percentage of it's always gonna be bad.
Yeah,
but there's always gonna be someone who likes that, right?
Who likes it, exactly. There's always gonna be an audience, but there's so many artists to pick and choose from. It's like you don't really have time to have somebody sit down and be like, all right, I need you to listen to 14, 15 songs. Like,
right.
They have like 10 other artists they're gonna listen to right now.
No, yeah, and also like the way you put it out, it's never going to be heard that way, right?
Yeah.
You might put it out to be listened to front to back, but then it comes up on a playlist in Spotify, or someone sends someone one song.
Yeah.
And, and it's like, you're not going to get that.
The bigger picture, yeah.
I mean, me as a musician, as someone who is into that, like I go out of my way to find those albums, and I'll put aside like, like when I'm driving to San Diego, like I'll put on a record,
absolutely.
Listen to it start to finish.
Right, but it's like we make that time, right? Who has that inclination these days? It's like it's kind of hard. So you're working on a new record. Are you recording it in your home studio? Are you paying for studio time? Or how's that process looking like?
The way it's always been with us is a good friend of ours, who has his own studio and engineer, really cool guy. But we've been trying to experiment with others and different recording techniques. But right now we're just focused on getting the songs together. You know what I mean? So when we actually get into the studio, it's gonna be a smooth process. That's one thing bands don't really understand. Like when you get into studio time financially, if you're not prepared, man, that means it's a lot of money. You can dig yourself in a hole.
Yeah, I mean, I have a studio that we used to record outside bands, and it's a process when these fools are not ready.
If you're not prepared, it shows.
No, we've never been a band like that. We've always gone, every time we recorded, we've always had the songs completed and we knew what we were going to do.
Yeah, but sad as it is, we've never been a band that's like took the time to record ourselves. I know a lot of people go through the process like that.
Honestly, it's a mission, dog. Like, as a rapper who was like a DJ engineer, like recording my band and having to be the one push the buttons and then tell them like that part's not right or try to do this better, like doing both.
That's tough.
Like, I need a better take. It's like, are you saying that as an engineer or the front guy? Like who's talking to me right now? It's like, dog, both, because I'm both, or even like having like the wireless keyboard in the booth and recording my own vocals and then being like, does that sound good? And just listening to it by myself without having someone who's not involved to be like, from an objective point of view, someone who doesn't know you, it sounds like crap. Like you need that sometimes, right? And you don't always get that.
You can't be biased, dude. Like I'll look at myself in the mirror and be like, yeah, you're dope.
Confidence, bro. That's where it's at.
Yeah, but you know what? That's not always the case. And you got to humble yourself and really appreciate when others are trying to look out for you.
And that's why you got to find a good engineer, a good producer, someone who's going to be honest and not just trying to make a quick buck and let you record shit all sloppy and be, oh, yeah, it sounds good. Let's do the next one.
Because a lot of them will, man. They're like, I'm getting paid regardless of how you sound.
I've been that guy.
It's really cool doing it on your own, too, because you can spend as much time as you want.
Yeah, because then the money situation comes in, right? You have more time,
Exactly.
So what's the process like? You say you all get together and jam, like
the writing process.
The writing process. You never come with a riff, or is it everybody cuts together and you're just like, let's chill,
it comes
see what we come up with.
We don't have like a
let's see, the last new song that we just made was like a week ago.
Yeah, it was last week.
Came, just more songs that we're trying to put on the album. It just honestly happened randomly. We just got to the studio, and, we had just finished tuning up, setting up, and we were just going through a regular jam, just getting warmed up, and then I just played a riff, and then he responded, and then he just comes after, and then that's how
that was the track. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's
how
usually
most of
how
our
it happens.
songs.
Butter.
Yeah,
It
like,
just happens like that.
Makes it sound so easy. These guys making it sound so easy.
I think it's
It's
because
not.
we've been playing.
It's not because you know what? A lot of times bands will dictate
don't-
when they're gonna do it. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
spend 2
Nah, we've
days
never
writing
been
songs.
like
Like,
that,
nah,
man.
it doesn't work like
We
that.
can't work
for
like
us.
they
that.
kind of work themselves out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It just
yeah.
takes
Work like
time.
that.
Ask-
Well, it's like the muse, right? Like you can't really choose when the inspiration
Yeah,
comes.
it
You just
just-
got to be there, ready to
Exactly.
fucking
Yeah,
capture
ready
it.
or doesn't.
yeah.
You're like
to
walking
respond.
down the street, like you'd be pissed off, and all of a sudden it's like, ding, oh damn.
Yeah, so
And so so you already have the songs written, or you're still writing new
We're in
songs?
the process still of writing right now.
Okay.
There's been a process of us actually trying to get older songs that we made condensed into like a group of our best ones.
That
we
was
wanted
actually
to
my
show.
next question. Like, are you
Yeah.
gonna bring stuff from the other demos and EPs and like bring them in their final album version to
Yeah.
this, or is this like all new shit?
No, it's gonna be a little bit of both. I think a lot of bands I mean I can't speak for every band, but I know a lot of bands throw material away. You know what I mean, when they feel like it's not necessarily up to par with some of the songs they've made. But we try to pick and choose and get ones that we feel.
I mean, we have so many songs, to be honest, to choose from. We have like.
I mean, songs that'll probably never see the light of day. But,
Yeah.
So we have
I
a
mean-
lot to choose from.
there's been songs we'll make and then we'll play once and then we'll move on from it, or kind of just play other
You
songs.
just weren't
or-
feeling it, or it didn't hit,
Or at the time we were feeling it, and then it'll come back, and we're
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, why?
That's
this
what- that's
is a
what-
jam." You know what I mean?
I mean,
That
they don't
happens all the
age, you know what I
time,
mean?
yeah.
They kind of.
We kind of revamp it,
right?
revamp it,
Or
a
like
little
you're
bit.
different. You're in a different place with it,
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly.
So, are you still playing shows right now, or are you like done shows and you're just like
last
in the
month,
studio right
we
now?
played like 4 shows.
we
last
actually
month,
cut
yeah.
off for the rest of the year,
Yeah.
probably until 2019. So we're not trying to go out of the way to play live until these new batches are probably ready. We're just trying to work on our album, actually. You know what I mean?
No, I mean it's good, dude. You got to put time into it, you know.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, and I feel like the time where you could be practicing to make sure the live show is going to be on point, that could be time dedicated to writing or
For sure.
getting something like dialed in for the record. Or
Yeah.
so you have like this big catalog, it sounds like. So does that make live shows more fun because you can just put together random sets,
It
or do
makes
you,
them- it
or
makes
do
them
you
more
kind of always
difficult.
play the same like
Nah,
bangers?
we're always-
It
and
makes
that's
them
the
difficult
one
because
thing
we're
that
always going back and
kind of
forth on
bugs
what
me,
to
man.
play, what not
Kind
to
of bugs
play.
me because these guys always want to change it up.
And you want a set,
And I'm like,
You're
dude,
dude, we need a
what?
fucking
If you see a
list.
band's on tour, they usually play the same set, like every
And me and him were like, well, we're not on tour, dog.
But I'm just like, dude, let's keep a solid
That's why a
set
lot of the
list. But
songs
they're
get
like,
forgotten because
do-do-do-do-do.
when you have to squeeze X amount into only like six song set. So it's
Right.
Like we never
It's
play the
hard,
same
man.
set twice.
It's
know
like-
I
what?
don't think we
though?
ever have actually. No.
I'll tell you what though, I remember there was a year where I was going ham on events because I was in college and I had like government money, so I was going out a lot. And
Yeah.
I saw Chance the Rapper 3 times in the same year, and every set was different.
Oh, okay.
You know
Every
what?
set, and he had a live band, and it's like
Hey.
it might have been the same songs, but they would have
Yeah.
like different interludes in a different order, or like
Yeah.
he'd put in a
He's
new
working.
song.
He's working hard.
He's a hard worker, yeah. So I mean, and to me, again, this is like my musician brain. Like, I found that super cool and
Yeah.
interesting because I followed him, right? And I was like, every show was like fresh. Whereas, like, you see, like sometimes I'll follow a DJ and it's like
the
Same
same
set.
set
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the same light show, same drops, and it's just like
Sure.
okay. So I mean, I guess it can go both ways, right?
Sure.
Like you want to give your best, but then if you have like hardcore fans that are following you, you want to make sure that each show is like an experience, right? I don't know. That's just my.
It
2
just
cents.
reminds me of like those old rock bands. It's like they'll be like, like we love you, Cincinnati. Like we love you. Like
It just
it's
changes
It's the
choreographed,
same
same
shit.
thing. It's like,
That's true.
I mean, a hardcore fan is gonna look at you and be like, I get it.
I
you know
get
what
it. Yeah.
But
I mean, that's how I felt about the DJs. I still go see them. so-
Everything's just choreographed. You know what I mean? It
it's
needs to
like-
be perfect.
It needs to be on point,
I
right?
mean, you understand that. They take their time to make it like that, but
And I mean, as a drummer, right? Like
Sure.
you're remembering more changes, and you got to remember phrases.
sure.
like you're counting,
For
like,
sure.
oh shit, is the verse over?
sure.
So like, it probably makes it a lot more hectic when you're like, oh, we haven't played this song in 3
You
months.
know, I'm always
like,
down, man. Like, I'm like, whatever,
It's
but
funny.
I'm just down, but. You know, if they throw me a song like in the middle of a set and they're just like, "Hey, let's play this song. We haven't."
Oh,
played
in
it
the
for,
middle of the
like,
set? That's
dude,
fucked
we
up.
haven't
Dog. All
played this
right,
song.
We love doing that, bro.
That's fucked up.
You know what's
man.
even
Why don't you
worse
practice?
is when we do it with a new song too. Like we never play it, and that's kind of
We
like how
actually did that last.
That's kind of like how we
last show. Yeah,
we
just
find
put-
out if it's actually like good enough to
And
continue.
everybody liked
If
it,
it gets a
man,
good reaction,
yeah.
it's like, all right, cool.
You're like, okay,
we'll continue.
this one's
That's
going on the
actually-
album. This one's going on the album.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened, man.
Because back to one of the previous questions about like older songs, it feels like songs that we don't necessarily dig at the moment. People will hear and be like, "Oh, that song sounds cool," and we're like, "Nah, it doesn't." And they're like, "Yeah, it does," and we're like, "You know what I mean?"
It's weird how it works
people-
that way.
We're like our
sometimes.
worst critics, you know. What I
Dude,
mean?
honestly, I have a studio, and so one of the downsides of that is that like I could put out anything, right? And so for a long time, I would put out songs that now I go back and I'm just like, oh, these are not.
Yeah.
But people like that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I was like, how do you like that song? It's a bad song.
They're like, "We like options."
It's pretty much.
So, what do you guys have any Thanksgiving plans? I mean, I don't really fuck with the holidays, you know, but I feel like everybody.
Are you a pilgrim or an Indian, bro?
Hey man, it's just like I have it written down. I was gonna rant in the beginning, but I wanted to start talking to you. I was excited.
Yeah,
let's hear it now.
But it was just like it's just this whole thing with immigrants right now, just like on a political level. And I'm not trying to get too deep, but this
Yeah.
I was watching CNN before I came over here, kind of fucked me up.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that'll fuck up your
yeah,
day.
Yeah. So I watch that shit all day too. I don't know. Okay, so like the whole immigrants and that whole thing, and then Thanksgiving being this like celebration of like sharing of culture, and it's just like
It's all bullshit.
it's all
dude.
bullshit.
I mean,
and then
you
people's
can-
like
yeah.
they like
It's like, okay.
family
okay,
I haven't
bro.
seen
Yeah.
for like the whole year decides that we're gonna be all lovey-dovey now.
Or
and
if
we're
you,
gonna-
have, if you have a significant other, it's like, man, I gotta go to your family's house. I don't even like them. You don't even know
Right,
like that.
right. And God forbid you have kids and you gotta go like to the grandparents.
Sure.
Like my brother, love him. I know he's happy, but it's like I don't even see that dude around the holidays anymore because there's
Yeah.
like 4 people he has to go visit. It's
Damn,
like
that's hectic.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. For me, holidays aren't the same as when I was young. So
Oh no, not at all, man. Not at all.
so I was just wondering if
Yeah.
y'all had any special plans or what you're planning to do.
Actually, for the first time in a long time, no. I think a few years ago, me and him probably spent like Thanksgiving just by ourselves.
I think
you
we
know?
bought like a Domino's pizza.
we just sang.
Word.
Bought some beer.
Yeah.
No way.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I'm a
people feel-
hypocrite. I always try to find food.
People feel obligated to have to like want to celebrate, or if it's like if you're not doing what everybody else is doing on that day, you're fucking up for some reason. But it's like it's just a normal day.
And then the
you know what I mean?
social media
It's
with
really
the
just
turtle,
normal.
everybody's like,
Yeah,
look at
everyone
my
has to
fucking,
Oh my God, look at
my
yeah.
perfect,
Look at
not
my family.
perfect life.
Nah, man.
Everybody's like, fuck, I'm tired. I gotta clean. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
like, no, I know your family. They're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, the food's great, man. I like to tease that food.
Actually, shout out Miss Gina from the previous show because she gave me this idea. What's like the everybody always has that one nasty shit that some family member brings. that no
Oh
one's
yeah, that
Come on, what's
casserole.
oh the
I don't know
casserole?
about that casserole. Get that out of here.
That's my favorite.
Oh, he likes the mayo.
Yeah, you don't know how to eat. That's why, man.
It's like
You weren't brought up right now.
Damn.
It's always like
All right. I don't appreciate that.
there's like this cranberry stuff. I don't
Like,
know,
this
it's
is
like cranberry
overcut.
sauce.
No, all right, Brittany, we're out. No, oh, Brittany, no, she's not liking it either. Cranberry?
Yeah.
You don't fuck with the
It
cranberry
just,
sauce?
It just looks weird.
I like the
what is
cranberry
that
on the-
for?
I like
It's all
cranberry
sweet.
juice.
Like, nah.
Cranberry juice.
With some vodka?
With vodka.
Hey!
That's.
You want to hit it? Go ahead, hold it. All right.
That deserved a double one.
That's what we brought it to. It's like, yeah, vodka.
Yeah, we like getting fucked up. What can I say?
Most definitely.
All right, so I have to ask you, we already kind of touched on the whole exec mindset. I'm always curious with artists and bands and anybody, like, do y'all get paid to play? Do you pay to play? And in your mind, is there a road where this is going to be like a money-making thing? Or is it, like, for you, it's just pure passion? Like, even if you fools are working 9 to 5
That's a good
and you're
question,
fucking old and, like, have kids, you're still going to be rocking out, like, because this is what you love to do, or you know?
I mean, my mentality, it feels like we have gotten paid, and it feels like even the little amount we've gotten paid, it's kind of, I kind of felt bad. Like, I didn't even deserve this for doing something that I love to do. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it was so easy. You know what I mean? Like to make a couple bucks, like, for nothing, because it feels like people look at it like as a job, but it's something that you care about so much. it gets tainted because when people make that their focus, it messes with the craft. But I think one of our rules was even if we don't get paid, like we'll never play anywhere having to pay to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the number one thing I would never pay to play. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna bash anybody who does it because you know what, you gotta grind. But
at the beginning, yeah, I think we did it once, or I don't know what the heck, but
I mean, I feel like you get roped into it once, not knowing what you're getting into,
and then you're like,
and then another time you're like, I really want to open up for that band though, and then the third time you're just like, this is some fucking bullshit.
I'm not gonna be prideful, like, nah, we're not gonna do that, never. But it's just I don't know, it's kind of sleazy to me. It just felt sleazy. But I mean, I just love music, and a lot of times when you play certain places, like, oh, you're not getting paid to play there. It's like, man, well, I'm gonna be playing anyways. You know what I mean? I'd rather play for you for free than not be able to play at all. You know what I mean?
I feel that. I just gotta point out the irony though, because you're like, oh, it was so easy to make a couple of bucks. Like, I love to do it, but like 10 minutes ago, we're like, yo, writing a record's hard, and making music is hard, and being in the band is hard, and making sure you go to practice is hard. So I mean, y'all put a lot of time into
life is hard,
getting here, right? Hey, and a lot of people work to get paid, man. I mean, they're getting paid off of life.
Of course. Like,
no, I'm just saying, like, you shouldn't like downplay what y'all do because it's not easy. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
It kind of feels like everybody does do it, man.
Yeah, fucking assholes. you're saturating the market.
No, you're right. No, because you don't want to ever cheat yourself. It's just knowing how much you're worth. And I think that's one thing that artists need to figure out. It's like, you know what, you need to have at least a little bit of standards. You know what I mean? That's just one thing. The pay to play thing. I thought that was the line right there. Like, that's not happening for us.
Right. And I mean, if you have to sell tickets and you can sell them and it's not coming out of your pocket, that's not pay to play, right? It's it's just like, it's a lot of times it's like, oh, tickets, but I can't sell them. I'm just going to give the money up. And then it's like, that's it. You know, I'll get the tickets out to my friends for free.
I think it's smart though, dude. And they're setting up their own shows. Like you get production companies like, okay, instead of paying to play, like I'm gonna invest a little bit of money for like this venue space.
Right.
And, like, I'll charge whatever I want and get whoever I want in here.
No, and I mean that's kind of like, I guess that's what I like to get at, right? Is like, what are the options for a band like you that's like super passionate about it and you're going hard, you're about to put out a full-length album, which nobody does anymore. Like, you know, like, how could you do that? Okay, so you don't want to pay to play, and sometimes you don't get paid to play, but maybe you could rent out your own venue, right? And like keep all the door or whatever, right? There's options, and so I like to bring that shit up because sometimes people are listening, like you said, they don't know how hard it is to be in a band, but maybe they want to do it. Maybe there's someone out here who's in 9th grade listening who's like, fuck, maybe I should pick up the bass and play for my brother's band, you know? Like, it's always cool to know that there's options out there. People are creative.
People are creative, man. People are doing a lot of cool things out there. I have some personal friends who, I mean, you make your own schedule. You do things on your own terms. I mean, a lot of times you got to have the income to make that possible, but people are grinding too. You know what I mean? A 9 to 5, it sucks, man. Like, nobody wants to work, especially a job that you're not happy in, but you got to make ends meet for the time being, and hopefully you get a little bit of extra to make this happen too.
Yeah, and I used to get a lot of shit because I knocked the 9 to 5, and I didn't mean it like that, you know? Like, I know people got to do what they got to do, but I just always feel like people are capable of so much more than they realize, and their potential is being, like, wasted at that shitty job that they hate, you know. And it's just, I want more for people. So
some people spend their whole lives like that.
You don't even get a chance to live your whole life. If you think about it, from an adult age to a senior age, you're working every day, getting
8 days hours, off. 2
days off a week. It's like, did you really enjoy your fucking life? Nah.
Yeah, man.
Not really.
But I think it's tight that we got 3 individuals right here who are fucking taking it upon themselves to enjoy life and make music and create and fucking go out and do the damn thing. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Don't downplay it, you know?
Oh, of course.
We got 20 minutes left. You said y'all wanted to get into personality, let people get to know you more. So tell me, let's see. Oh, it was this guy, huh? You pointed. It was all this guy.
Over here.
No, well, I'm curious. What is the inspiration for your songs? Do you have any songs that songs?
Dude, you don't want to go there.
Hey, man, you asked, bro.
Well, lyrics, that would be this guy over here. So
you write all the lyrics?
There you go.
You write all the lyrics? They no input from these guys, or you have ghostwriters over here sometimes?
No, he
Why you smacking
No, I mean,
No, no.
Jake.
I mean, like I said, the process our process is pretty tricky, but he writes pretty much all the lyrics for the most part. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's a good writer, I think. We kind of work together, like as far as lyrics and melody.
and structure?
Yeah,
and
we
shit,
kind of. But as far as like actual words, I mean, I feel like all the songs.
Eric's the poet.
Yeah.
Of the,
It's not poetry, bro.
He's a Pisces.
Hey, man.
Just kidding.
Don't, hey, Pisces
No,
little
it's a-
emo fishies, bro. I have a lot of Pisces homies, dog. Shout out Skaterade.
Yeah, man. But for the most part, inspiration. I mean,
Like, what are you talking about?
it's kind of hard to admit, but you hear some I guess darker sides to people's personalities. I mean, to me, life fascinates me, but the most fascinating thing about life is that one day that you're not gonna have it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
people like to talk about like death. Like Jim Morrison was kind of like, oh, the doors. It made the doors dark, but people dug it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously, relationships. I mean, is corny and cheesy it is to admit. It's like.
But it's relatable,
when
right?
When you meet people that affect you, like it sticks with you. You know what I mean? And sometimes people, they unlock certain emotions in you, they make you feel a certain way. And sometimes when those people are out of your lives, whether it be a relationship, friend, even a position you're in your life, and it's gone, it changes you, and you reflect. Like a lot of times, just talking about writing songs, like we can't just like, oh, I'm gonna write this song on Tuesday. Like, no, I'll be like, I'll be walking, all of a sudden, like, oh god, you know what I mean?
Like,
You feel-
it's funny. We'll make a track. You know, we'll have the music, and we'll be singing something. Maybe sing like a melody with no words, and maybe just a title, something that you just say over and over, and then you just give it to him. Say, you know what? Yeah, he'll ask, well, what's the title? What do you call it? He's like, what are you saying in the first couple lines? And I'll tell him, and then he'll be like. First, he'll come back with something. He's like, man, how the fuck did you know I was thinking this shit? Like, how did you know? Like, I was feeling this. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, what we do, it's cool.
Y'all feel like you have, like I don't want to get too woo, but there's like a connection. Like y'all feel
absolutely,
like there's like
man.
an energy right here where you feel like he knows how you're, like the music comes together and like,
I feel like
you
that.
feel like that.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I would say.
Do you think all bands feel like that? Have you met other bands and they're just like, man, it's like, because I've met other bands and the process is nothing what you guys are talking about. Like,
I just think it's because we grew up learning how to play our instruments together, you know, and we stayed playing together. I don't know, man. Like
just like a time thing.
it's just like a natural thing for us. We don't really think about it that much.
I mean, how I feel.
As far as the music,
It feels like even outside of. I mean, you want to talk about personality, even outside of music, like. We spend time with each other regardless of whether we're practicing or not. You know what I mean?
So you guys are like homies.
Yeah, we don't have to jam or anything to hang out. You know what I mean? Like,
It's like we're all at a point in time. Like I mean, when we had the time, we're always with each other. Like it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna meet up for practice. It's like, nah, we're with each other. And then it's like, okay, we'll go practice now.
yeah.
It's just
go.
I mean, it's just rare, right? Like how I mean, I guess a lot of bands start like that where it's like you're in a band with your best friends. But I feel like I meet so many more bands that are more like working bands or like they're like they replace two people, so now it's like it used to be 4 friends, but now it's like 2 friends and 2 other guys, and they only meet to.
It's like the dude from Craigslist.
Yeah.
He lives like 60 miles away. He has to drive all far.
This fool has experience with this.
oh yeah,
We've seen
it.
people.
Yeah.
But, like, man, there was a time where we'd have to walk freaking miles, or we'd have to go far because we used to work together, and we barely had the studio. Well, we're still there now, but man, we'd have to bust missions just to
This is
practice.
before like we had
Yeah,
cars
this
and
is
stuff.
before.
We had our
Yeah.
license and all that.
Yeah,
And we'd have to freaking
that's the real struggle.
get out
You
midnight.
would do it together.
We'd get out at midnight, walk like freaking 7 miles just to be at the studio for the weekend, because it's like, fuck, we're there. We're gonna
From
stay there.
South Whittier all the way to Pico.
Yeah, we used to walk far. But
What?
Yeah, bro.
This
Real,
missions, bro.
on a bike.
bike too.
with,
sometimes.
with your drums? Nah.
Nah, they're already there at the studio, but yeah.
So you'll have a lockout now?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
our own spot. We've had that for like, 5 years now? What is it?
Yeah, when we started off, when we talked about meeting in
More
Whittier,
than
it
that.
was
More
it
than
was
that,
at,
probably.
it
His
was at
house, right,
yeah.
right.
The neighbors would come outside and be like, "You guys are getting better,"
Hey, that's
and we're
tight.
like, "Hey, we'll take it." Yeah.
It's like, play some Led Zeppelin.
You're like, fuck you.
we're being loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
probably like neighbors. Like God damn.
I can
like,
imagine how we sounded back then too, man.
Probably
I was-
bad.
Woo.
I mean,
Probably
yeah,
bad.
you
Probably
got.
bad.
sure.
I mean, come on. We all start bad.
Yeah.
But when they saw progress, I mean, they were like, yeah, you guys.
They were
are
the
getting
first
better.
ones to say it,
Most
right?
definitely.
Yeah, they heard you every fucking day.
Hey,
You should
it's
probably
not
tell
us.
them they're sounding good.
You're just like, fuck yeah.
The
They
neighbors,
never called the cops
like
on
they
us,
gave
though.
us the
That was
confidence to
good.
continue.
It was
Hey,
good.
Most definitely.
shout out those neighbors.
Neighbors.
They kept us going, man. I think if we didn't get that,
Wherever
then
they're at, in the
Probably
universe.
Yeah.
I would've
This,
gave
this
up.
one goes out to you. Everybody always asks me who gave me the bell, but I don't know. It was here when I got here.
It's like,
Oh man, it came with the place.
Came with the place. So, you're working on a new album. You're basically drawing inspiration from like the darkness in life. That's what I took from that.
not only
You
the
can-
darkness.
You can edit that
We
later.
got happy songs, man.
Yeah, well, you say you do Latin stuff, right? Like you do like some little dance breaks.
Yeah.
So like, what's the Latin influence? Like, what does it sound like?
Well, Latin music inspired, but yeah, the lyrics are they're a little darker too sometimes. But it feels like, I mean, you got to go there sometimes, and it feels like life's not always gonna be like sunshine. You know what I mean? A
Yeah,
lot of times,
definitely.
majority of the world is living in
It's like
negativity, bro.
Armageddon,
It's like,
yeah,
it
yeah.
sucks. People don't realize like you got to fight just to live another day, and people have good lives around us. You know what I mean? People are blessed, but I mean, you gotta look at the other side and realize, like, you know what? Sometimes people's lives are not as great as it seems. You know what I mean? Thanksgiving, people are gonna be taking pictures like my life's perfect. You don't know what's going on, bro.
And then all the other people who are like out on the street,
Depressed.
Exactly.
no shelter,
Lonely.
no homeless, cold,
Look
no
at
food.
look at the fires, man, in California, bro. It's
Yeah,
like
a lot of people without houses right now. Worst fire in California history. Don't even get me started, bro. Dang, you just bummed me out. See, this is what your music does.
See,
In other words.
yeah.
How did those fires?
But the
even
music sounds
start?
dope. So.
Right. And I mean, at some point, like, you want people to know that they're not alone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like relatable, and that's why I like music that's relatable. Like I try to be as relatable as possible. That's why a lot of the new music right now I can't really relate to it, and that's just
I don't even know what it's about, to be honest.
yeah. And that's why I always try to ask and try to pick the brain because I'm a lyricist, so I always wonder like, are you actually saying something? Like, is there a message?
most
Like, is there
definitely.
or is
Yeah.
it just like, because it's really easy to hum a cool melody and like mumble some words that may or may not be profound. But it's a
Yeah.
lot harder to be like, there's an idea, here's a thought, trying to convey. Let me try to get this. It's probably not going to get the message out perfect, right? Because everybody interprets, but like to just
Exactly.
put it out in that concise way,
It feels like even us, we try to keep things like simplistic. But even like a simple message can be profound to some people. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of want to paint a picture. I mean, you look at music like you can look at music like a soundtrack. Like imagine your life as a movie, and that's just a little soundtrack to your life at that point.
Fuck yeah.
And the lyrics, it paints the scenario for you. You know what I mean? Just to sometimes take you out of reality, sometimes to relate to it. But I mean, it differs, man. I like rap nowadays. Like I don't get it, bro. Like I don't get it at all. We don't got to go down that road. Bro.
I'm there, dude. I'm a rapper. I get it. Like I know. I mean, it's like there's like a weird dichotomy right now.
Yeah.
There's like a battle going on almost culturally between like it's like what is hip hop? What's the future of hip hop? Like, is hip hop this thing that happened in New York, in LA between the 80s and the 2000s, and now this is new shit? Like, how does that work out? Like there's a whole, like, is this new stuff even hip hop, or is it something new? Is it like a new genre that they're creating a whole new type of music that like
I think so.
old school hip
I've
hop
heard that
heads
the
can't
culture's
really get
just been
behind?
abandoned, and like hip hop as an actual culture. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, where it started, it wasn't just like rapping. It was a whole lifestyle. It was everything.
Yeah,
And conveying the
DJ,
message.
graffiti,
everything,
b-boys,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
And
But
that's not really,
that
it's not a
doesn't make-
whole picture like that anymore, right? But we try. I mean, there's, I had my boy Jelani on here. We were doing a monthly called Hip Hops where we brought together all the elements, and we had b-boys and DJ scratching and like legit rappers, and dude, I'm not even gonna lie, like when you said sometimes it's to escape reality, right?
Yeah.
A lot of this new music, that's definitely what I use it for, and I know it's like, You just vibe out,
It's
not
like
paying
party.
attention.
It's
Like
like
it's
party, have a
I don't
good
know what
time,
these fools
yeah.
are saying. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it sounds good. It feels good. Like the bass is hitting. You know. And
Yeah.
sometimes like that.
You need that.
You need that. So
Yeah.
it's balance. So I'm not gonna trash talk.
Nah.
I'm not gonna hate. I just that's not what I make. And I mean, I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. I'm pretty sure you hear bands where you're like, oh, I see what they're doing. That's cool. Not for me, but
It works.
yeah,
for them.
good for them, right? It's like, hey,
Especially like as a lyricist, somebody that writes, like you look at old school hip hop, and like there was a lot of talented people that have been around and even our lifetimes, and you know what? It's like you gotta appreciate it for what it was. Not that it can't be like that again, but
right.
I mean, music's music, but it feels like nowadays, even like rock bands, I don't even know what happened to rock. It's like going back to that.
I mean, dude, it's like, well, I think what really happened is EDM infected everything, and not in a bad way. Not
I
in
was just gonna say
not in a bad way, because I'm a
when
raver.
EDM
Dog.
came
I
out,
went to
it
a
just
sick
kinda
ass
took
rave
over.
this weekend. Yeah, like I started DJing back in 07, 08, like Compton, Linwood house parties,
Like underground
electro,
stuff, right?
That sounds
fidget
fun.
house, like Ecstasy and Nas, and like a lot like the whole 9 yards. Like that's what I started in, and I got into raving, and I learned about this whole like. What I like about festivals, and all festivals, right? Like Coachella was like my first festival.
Yeah.
It changed my life. I was
Yeah.
like, yo,
Yeah, me too.
Like-
there's
Likewise.
a lot of fucking people here, and they're all here for the
Yeah.
same
Reason,
thing.
yeah.
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 It's like everybody is fucking
It was
vibing
beautiful.
right
It was
now.
beautiful.
Oh, did you camp or did you get a hotel?
Yeah,
or-
the first time hotel, and then like subsequent years it was camping, and it was like Thursday
Camping
to
was
Sun
cool.
Monday,
That's
and
the
it was
hardcore
like
stuff, yeah.
hardcore. And
You
I,
get home, it looked like you just came back from a war.
Dude,
Like,
I went
damn,
barefoot
why?
one year for the whole weekend, and my
Yeah.
feet were just like
Blisters.
fucked up, just like black
Nah,
and
really?
cracked, and just
Yeah.
it was dog, an experience, right? So I mean, I don't hate on EDM at all, but I feel like there came a point when it got really like radio mainstream,
Yeah.
and then you started hearing it in all the other types of music because everybody was trying to like chase that wave. So you started hearing like rock bands that would have like synths or four on the
Yeah.
floor,
Yeah.
and like
It hit hard.
and
That-
then like
it hit hard.
EDM or like hip hop that would have like the trap and the wobbles. So it's
Yeah.
like I feel like it got into everything, and then like you said, the genres, like so much to choose from, and people looking for what's hot. It's like I feel like people got lost in the sauce a little bit,
Yeah, exactly.
Most definitely.
But it's cool because without that, you wouldn't be able to contrast it to what you're doing, right? Like you only know yourself in contrast to others, and like so.
Kind of feels like that's how it's been already for the past decade already. It's been a long time since it's been like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Like actually, that statement before, I wish I could take it back because it feels like what, if they're feeling it, you know what I mean, and that's their creativity coming out. You know what?
you can't hate,
more,
right?
More power to them.
Yeah.
That's great. But it feels like you're talking about ghostwriters. Like a lot of times, people not even writing their stuff, and like you can't tell the difference.
Even in music, right? Even in music, and even not just rap, like actual
It's like,
music,
man,
like
that was-
production,
like,
right?
that was
So
so
many
dope.
names on a fucking list of like,
How do you know?
book?
How do you know who's the face and who's actually responsible?
like who felt that?
Yeah, like
Whose
who made
For real.
Whose concept
Yeah,
was that?
right?
What was,
Yeah,
and
dude.
was their idea? Did it come out the way they wanted it to, or did it go through all these filters and become just like everything else? I always wonder, dude, especially, hip hop and music. Like when I really feel something, I always wonder, like, who the fuck made this shit? Like, who got me like tearing up right now? I want to meet that person.
That's just natural, just beauty. You know what I mean? It's like it hits you, but you're like, and then you look at the artist and it's like, nah, it was him.
Yeah, right.
it's like some nerd making gangster rap. He's like, that sounds good.
All right. It's been an awesome conversation. This
For
is
sure, man.
probably one of the funnest ones I've had this month. I was kind of in a funk before I got here, and this was super, like, chill. I liked it. So we got 5 minutes left. Tell the people where they can find you, where they can find your music, your social media, SoundCloud, whatever. This is your
SoundCloud.
time right now. Go
Yeah,
for it.
SoundCloud, Deco Hectics, obviously Facebook, Instagram, all the platforms. You know what I mean? If anybody ends up in Whittier, you know what I mean? Come look for us, Pico Rivera. Everybody, it's kind of funny. Like we get bands from out of town. They're like, we're like, you made this trip all the way over here for this little show. It's like, come to our studio. You know what I mean? It's like we're always welcoming. You know what I mean? We love being around other artists. We really appreciate when people are doing it too, especially if they dig it too and they're good, man. It's like,
Yeah.
you gotta appreciate it.
So that's soundcloud.com/Deco
Hectics.
and that's DECO Hectics.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's your Instagram and that's everything.
Yeah, everything. YouTube. Look out for the full-length album coming 2019, hopefully.
Oh, you put a year on it? Yeah, you heard it here first. Got the scoop. Sneaky got the scoop.
Hey, when it's done
Before the
when it's done,
summer.
Hey,
yeah.
come back and we'll actually have your track queued up so we could be like, and here's their song, and they'll play it, and we'll promote the album and the tour and whatever else. Y'all are welcome to come back. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, yeah.
Demos,
Good time.
are these available? Can people get these things?
Yeah, they can.
Okay. You're not playing shows right now, but
Yeah, but anytime you come into contact with us, like obviously we'll be there. Yeah, anybody who's out there, it's like you want one, you got it.
and then I'm gonna actually end up splicing one of their songs for the replay. So if you're listening to this on the podcast app, the song's already there. If you're listening live, cue into the podcast to hear their track. I'm going to make sure it's on there, or follow me on YouTube. If you Google search SHNEAKY, I'm like the first 5-6 hits. Google SHNEAKY, follow the movement. We're at time. Deco Hectics, thank you for being here.
Pleasure, man.
Appreciate
Pleasure,
you.
man.
Man, thanks for having
Brittany,
us.
take us out.